Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Jefferson Highway Show. This historic highway was formed in 1915 by the Jefferson Highway Association. It runs from Winnipeg, Canada, all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's go! Welcome, everybody. Today on the Jefferson Highway Association podcast here on Big Blend Radio, we're going to be giving you a taste of the Jefferson Highway. We're going to go to Winnipeg, where you're going to hear our conversation with Chase Miller, who represents One Great City Brewing Company. They've got a Jefferson Highway beer. And then we're going to go over to Veneta, Oklahoma, to the Highway Cafe to chat with Beth about her Jefferson Highway burgers, steak night, and so much more on these conversations. And of course, we got to give a shout out to Natchitoches, Louisiana, who's celebrating their meat pies, their famous meat pies, with a festival coming up in September. So stay tuned and enjoy. I promise you, you're going to get hungry and thirsty after this episode. Hey, everybody, you know we are getting the taste of the Jefferson Highway today, and we might as well start at the top and with a beer. Who doesn't want a nice, cool, refreshing beer, especially when it is from like the city at the top, Winnipeg. We're going to Winnipeg, Canada. Roger is here. Roger Bell, you know, the president of the Jefferson Highway Association, as always. And Roger said to me like a month ago, or actually, I think, Roger, you mentioned this a few months ago. You're like, hey, Lisa, there's a beer that's about the Jefferson Highway. And I'm like, really? We got to cover this. Roger, right? Beer, Jefferson Highway?
Yes,
I like
it's just
this.
kind of showed up on my radar one time, and I was very intrigued by it. Immediately sent out a couple of messages to the company, got a response. So, and here we are today. It's just kind of one of those things as we keep evolving, just some of the unique elements that are kind of coming forward.
I love this. So everybody, the brewery is One Great City Brewing Company. One Great City is Winnipeg, the peg, right? So you can go to ogcbrewingco.com and check them out. And this is the thing. If you're going to go from Winnipeg to New Orleans or New Orleans to Winnipeg, this is a place you want to visit because this is the only place you're going to get their beer pretty much, right? Unless you're in the city, but you want to go to the place when you're there. So we have Chase Miller joining us from the One Great City Brewing Company. Hey, Chase, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Listen, we are just kind of, annoyed right now because Roger, don't you want a beer right now? Come on. You know you do.
Yes,
Don't
as
you?
we're recording this, it's kind of late in the day, and it just seems like a good time.
I'm on a lake. And I want a beer. I'm sorry. I'm on a lake right now. But that's the thing. I think, it's kind of interesting when you look at the highway history. We had a lot of moonshine running. We've had all kinds of shenanigans regarding liquor. There's wineries on the highway. There's all kinds of great food. There's meat pies and Natchitoches, right? Everybody, the Meat Pie Festival's coming up. September 16th and 17th in Natchitoches, Louisiana. I think that's the right date. But beer, we have not gotten to the libation station. So Chase, tell us about this beer. And then I want Roger to kind of tie into the history of the highway, but tell us about this beer that you have.
For sure. So, the Pine de Palm is the name of the beer. It's a session IPA. We brewed it kind of to start our summer seasonal rotation as kind of an ode to the classic summer road trip. One Great City is a brewery that's all about championing local stories in Manitoba, which is the province that it's located in. And we thought it'd be just a really, really amazing story to highlight the whole region, obviously. Yeah.
And so you actually have like one of the markers right there in your city because it is like the top city.
Yes.
Like the top of the, I'm not saying you're better than New Orleans or New Orleans is better than you. I don't want to get into trouble, but like you're at the top of the, the highway. You're
the
up.
Start of the highway. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, no, New Orleans could claim that too. You're the northern
I guess,
part.
on other
you're
sides.
the northern star. How about that? You can be the northern star. of the highway, but you have like an obelisk you were talking about.
Yeah. So on it's Highway 75, there is an obelisk that is a marker just that says that it's the pine from the Pine to Palm Highway.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
Roger, you found this beer. Come on, like let's think about the taste of this. Palm to pine, a little like this sounds more like a very refreshing kind of thing. You know, when you think about pine, palms, refresh. Is there a little citrus
Yeah.
in it? A little
Absolutely. So
citrus?
the beer is brewed kind of to take the drinker through a journey from pine, which is like a resinous, hoppy, kind of piney notes, to
Mm,
palm, which is more of like a tropical, citrusy finish. We use New Zealand hops, which have like a lot of like white wine
yeah.
and tropical flavors, and then kind of leaned into a lighter malt body. It's slightly hazy and just really refreshing
Mm.
at 4.75%. So
So it's not
not
like
too
one of those
heavy, but
IPA. Yeah, not those IPAs that you can't have a second or third one. Oops,
absolutely.
did
Yeah,
I
it's
say
supposed to be
that?
very drinkable, obviously, so you can enjoy it on a hot day and it's not too light, or it's not too light, not too heavy.
Mm, this is a
Hmm.
perfect blend. I like to say that word blend. Roger, we need to go to Winnipeg.
Well, I can, I don't know when the seasonality of this beer is, but I think every trip needs to start now for our people. We have a lot of our travelers that go to our conferences all over, up and down, and we always have a good group that wants to go out to the local brewery and sample it. So, when I came across this, it drew a lot of attention for some of our ongoing conference guests because they had no idea, and several of them have recently been up in Winnipeg, so it's pretty neat.
I think what's so cool about this is it's like this, I'm going to say in a way you could start off your trip with this, right? It's like, ooh, get the juice of the highway. Or it's like this end result of like you can get the beer reward at the end if you went from the whole thing. Not many people can do this entire route, right? In one swoop. Like, are you going to hike the
Yeah,
Appalachian Trail or the
right.
Pacific Crest Trail?
That's right.
But so you may be doing portions. I think no matter what, beer all along the highway is good, but drink and drive responsibly, right? I'm not promoting
Well,
drinking and driving
and
whatsoever.
I don't know who the marketing folks were that did this, but they did some research because they pulled one. The first thing I noticed was they had an original that was actually off one of our early guide maps of the Jefferson Highway in the 1920s. So they used
Wow.
the Art Deco design with the car on there. So somebody went to a lot of work to do that. I appreciated that. I thought that was really cool.
See, Chase, that's a thing. Like brewing, you get the end result quicker than wineries, right? But it's still about the story, right? And the feel and the vibe when you have your brewers go into this. So, I mean, what happens with that to make a beer like this? And then will you bring it back again? Because I think you were saying this is more like the summer beer. It's not always on tap, right? And maybe as we do this podcast, and then we may have to just keep emailing you all and like saying, can you just make it regular? Um, what goes into making a beer and saying this is what we're going to do and then doing all the marketing for it?
So I think I have a pretty unique perspective on brewing just because my background is actually brewing proper. And then my role at One Great City is I'm the sales rep. So I helped brew this beer
Ooh,
from the beginning. So like I worked with our head brewer pretty closely, and he pitched the idea to me, and then we actually brewed the beer together. And kind of what goes into that is just deciding like what do you want it to taste like, and we have a calculator that has been built by our head brewer Scott Barber, and he kind of designs the beer for what profile he's looking for, and then he tries to find kind of a story that goes along with it, and we bring in our marketing team and see if that's going to be a good fit for us. But all in all, this beer was just really a lot of a lot of time spent and a lot of really great conversations in deciding how we wanted to approach it. Especially those choice New Zealand hops. I think that was kind of something that really inspired us to go with that tropical
Hmm.
note. And it kind of tied everything together because we know we can get those resiny kind of flavors, but having both in one beer, I think was really kind of a game changer for sure.
So having those tropical notes, right? Because I do a lot of beer and wine tasting as, professionally, happily, but not like a snobby kind of really know it all. I just go like, this is good, but I do have a palate. And the one thing I know about New Zealand, and I grew up in South Africa, and South Africa has beers that are very similar to New Zealand and Australia and England, right? They did a lot of lagers too. Not as many IPAs, but IPAs were more Indian style. I don't know if that makes sense, right? I don't know. But going into the flavors of the tropical hops from New Zealand, I'm kind of looking at it from the wine perspective is when we have New Zealand wines and South African wines and Australian wines, there's this minerality that can bring in grassy notes of taste. So does that happen with the beer too, with the hops, with those tropical notes? Are you getting that freshness of grass that could actually represent the prairies of the Midwest a little bit, or no? Like I'm just
Um,
taking a really crazy weird leap, and I am. But why not? Like because the tropical is cool because you're going back and forth between like you're going look how many states you're covering with this one beer, right? 2,500 miles or something. Um, think
Absolutely.
about that.
Yes.
So does the
The
tropicality bring in grassy
Yeah,
ever?
you'll get a little bit of that grassy note. Hops are very affected by temperature and terroir, just similar
Mm,
to wine. Kind of funny, they grow on vines, not vines, which is, I think, kind of weird that they just changed the one letter. But yeah, you're going to pick up some of those grassy notes for sure. And definitely that minerality in the soil is going to have a little bit of
mm,
effectiveness. It kind of does have that reflective note of the prairie. I think the haze, the color of the beer also is very suggestive of that kind of like wide open plains, you know?
mm. That's cool,
Chase, I got
man.
one question for you on your maybe a little bit on your history, your brewery, and maybe how you got the name One Great City.
For sure. Yeah.
Mm,
So the slogan for Winnipeg used to be Winnipeg, one great city. There was a big sign, and that was kind of our city's slogan. And then quite a little bit after that, there was a band called the Weaker Thins. They were pretty popular in Canada, and they came out with a song called One Great City that kind of all talked about it was kind of a parody of the One Great City, but we decided to embrace it and again use it to kind of champion those local stories. So we feel like we're kind of representative of the mosaic that is Winnipeg.
wow. So music, one great city, right? And then history. What about the food? Because I talked to some folks at the Jefferson Highway board meeting a few weeks ago, and I brought up poutine and got chenenade. So, what would you say would be a good food to pair with this Jefferson Highway brew?
Our brewery has an entire made from scratch kitchen. Our kitchen team is phenomenal. They did a wonderful job when we had it on tap and when it was available. I believe we have like a lamb witch, like a nice like lamb kind of sandwich with a red pepper spread that really kind of brought those kind of
Wow.
grassy tropical notes out. As well, we have a wonderful beer and cheese soup that is made fresh every 2 days, and it's wonderful as well. It really hits those flavor notes.
Wow, you bring up lamb. So, Roger, right? That's a different profile than we always hear about in America. Lamb is not like as big as it is in England and Canada and, our European friends and even South Africa, lamb was normal. But in the States, you don't hear it very often. So that's a different flavor note to bring up for the highway, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah, but that's some of the diversity that we've talked about on up and down the highway. That's what's, the uniqueness of this north-south element. I think, a lot of the American historic highways are east-west, so they're different, but the culture from north-south route it just continues to amaze me. As you know, obviously we were in Louisiana this last year for our conference, and there's a lot of differences in a lot of things along the route, and it makes me want to go up to Winnipeg. I've got to find my way up there sometime.
Well, come on, we're going to do a convoy. You have a military convoy coming through soon from Winnipeg. Are they doing it from actual Winnipeg, or is it just over the border? I don't think they can do it from
Some
Winnipeg.
of them are starting. A lot of the vehicles cannot do that because of getting large military vehicles from
Yeah.
all over are not going to work that way. But some of them are just going to go up a few days early, and so we're gonna suggest they go by the brewery. I would hope so. We'll see, but
Wow.
yeah, they'll be starting. They're actually starting point. Their first overnight is in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, which is not terribly far from the border.
Not
That's
too far
awesome.
at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So Chase, I know this was like a seasonal brew, but what are the chances of it coming back and people getting it? Like, what do we have to do? We have to do a petition like we do for voting rights here? Like, what do we need to do to make this become a mainstay? Like, we want it.
That
Just
seems like
saying.
that should be enough, eh? This beer
Yeah, but I
was
know it's
really
not.
quite popular for us. Like we sold it quite a rapid pace. Like especially me seeing the sales side. Usually we sit on a beer between 1 to 3 months if it's going slow. This one we got a lot of good press and it was out pretty fast. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a return, but I'm not sure what that'll look like. It'll just depend on kind of what our schedule looks like for the next year. And we base a lot of our choices on hop quality and things like that because we never want to bring back something that we
Oh.
loved and worked so hard on and it be kind of an imitation of it, a copy of a copy, right? We
Ah,
want to
so
make
like
sure
if
it's
New Zealand had a bad year on the hops, you have to like look at a different hops or yeah, because you went to
want to
New
make
Zealand
sure.
for that. Yeah. Do you, what is mm, do you have local hops or like is it too cold because of your prairie and you know that
We
kind of,
do have local hops in Manitoba. The hop provider that we use got us our New Zealand hops. We didn't go there and source them ourselves. And unfortunately, I'd love to have had that experience, but we do have several local hop farmers here, but they're very kind of on the craft side, very small. Prairie
mm,
Gem is a big one. We work with them every year and do a wet hopped beer, which is brewing with fresh hops, which again has a lot of those really reflective prairie flavors that you'd get exclusively from the terroir here. But yeah, again, it'll all just depend on ingredients and grain quality, things like that.
mm. Can we make can we make it from grass? No, we can't. But the prairie because the prairie is so interesting, and that's what's I think we forget about. You are in the prairie land, and I really want to do a plug for that because the prairies, I think, get a bad view on tourism and everything. I think people think, oh, it's a big long prairie, whatever. And honestly, the prairies are biodiverse, they're dynamic, they're amazing, and we need them. We need the prairie biodiversity of the actual natural structure of the land. And that's what Winnipeg is really prairie land, right? You are in prairie country, or am I wrong? I haven't been there yet, so I don't know. But all I know is prairie is good for soil and good for agriculture, like all the diversity, right?
Absolutely, yes. So we are kind of on the edge of the prairie as you go into Ontario, which is the province next to us. It's all the Canadian Shield, so it's like a lot of granite and rock and stuff like that, and a lot of those particles from that rock have let themselves into the soil in Manitoba. So
Mm,
the soil is very rich and has a lot of clay and things like that that farmers look for. It results in some really very biodiverse crop yields, like you're speaking of. The prairies as a whole are just like a very beautiful place. It is a little bit more less visually stimulating, but when you watch a sunset for 2 hours, I think it's a pretty spectacular spectacle.
I love the prairies. Personally, I mean, just even the birds in the mornings and just even that smell, right? That's what I was talking about, that grass taste. There's this
Yeah.
freshness that comes, and beer has it, just those profiles can be in there. And I think the tropical notes that you were talking about can help with that, which is like there's this it's about freshness, right? Maybe with the
Hmm.
tropical notes, with the hops that you were talking about from New Zealand is fresh because they have a lot of grass. They're Kiwi land. They got a lot of grass. People go tramping over there. They don't
Absolutely.
hike, they tramp. We don't talk about tramping over here as much, but maybe not. But very cool. Thank you, Chase. I hope you keep this beer, and even if you have to get source ingredients from different places to make it work, I hope you keep it because Roger, come on, right? This is part of what the highway is about, is
Somehow we've got to
the
get our
small
hands on
businesses too, right?
on
Yeah.
some of this. Yeah, and I'm sure it's on tap there, but the cans are so really so cool that we'd love to see those, and we were excited. Just the fact, I think it's really unique. I don't know how your brewmaster came up with the concept, if he's just discovered us or just interested in the history of it from his area, but pretty neat story.
Hmm. He's very well read. He's always reading about the history of our region and how it
That's
kind of
interesting.
reflects with other
That's
things.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Roger, I think we gotta keep on with this taste of, the highway because we've got breweries, we've got burgers, we've got meat pies and everything. So very cool. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone again, Jefferson Highway, go to jeffersonhighway.org and go to the one great city. Go there. And we want to report, go to ogcbrewingco.com. One great city brewing company. Thank you so much, Chase. Please keep the beer for us. Don't, please, we'll get
We'll
a
try,
petition going.
and we'll try to get some your way. I think it's a shame we're talking about it and you guys haven't even tasted it. So
I'm just
we'll
like,
see what we can
That's
do.
the problem.
well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think we'll hop over the border for it. It's worth it. I can get over the border. We'll do it. But I think if you can help on the convoy that's coming through and the conference, right, Roger, the conference is in June 2025. If folks can have a sip of that brew during the conference and understand this unique taste
Yeah,
and
that
perspective of the
might
legally.
make our conference right there.
See, we're
Absolutely.
just pulling you on the show so you can send beer everywhere, even though legally it's weird. But come on, you can do it. I'll bring a truck up. How about that? I'll get a truck and then I'll just load it up and get, I'm sure they'll let me bring a pallet over, right? Who knows? But
Who
come
knows?
on. Who knows? But anyone going to Winnipeg, go check it out. One great city brewing company. And I love that you have that name and it looks like fun. And one thing before you go, what I love about looking at the brewery on the website is that it's very European in that it seems like everyone can communicate and it's like big tables, very European where you can have dinner and maybe you're with your party, but you could talk to the person next door to you, right? That's kind of
Mhm.
cool. It seems very community based. And that's
Absolutely.
something I think, Roger, am I right that we want with the Jefferson highways to build this community from Winnipeg to New Orleans where people connect as travelers and business owners, tourism representatives, everyone, right, Roger?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank
So everyone, we're on to part 2 of our taste of the Jefferson Highway. And I do want to say before we bring our guests back on the show, Roger Bell, of course, you know him as the president of the Jefferson Highway Association. And we've got Beth Hilburn joining us again. She is the owner and her family owns the Highway Cafe. I mean, this is going to be one of those places, the legendary Highway Cafe. I can say that because she was on our show last year talking about the Guinness World Book of Records, which they made it with all the stickers on the car at the cafe. But they are at the, can I say the confluence? I don't know. I've been talking about rivers today. They're at the crossroads of Route 66 and Jefferson Highway. And since she's on the show, they've had all these different accolades. We're going to talk about burgers. We're going to talk about all kinds of good stuff. But I just really quickly want to give a shout out to Natchitoches, Louisiana. On the last segment, when we were talking about beer in Winnipeg, I brought up the meat pies of Natchitoches, Louisiana, and that is their food. It's actually a state meat pie recognized there, and they have a meat pie festival. If you go to New Orleans, beignets, right? If you go to Natchitoches, you're going to have the meat pie, unless you're a vegetarian. I don't know if they have vegetarian ones, but their festival is coming up. So that is happening September 13th and 14th. They also have the Cane River Run that happens at the same festival, and they've expanded the festival to have a cornhole tournament. So I think a lot of you may know about cornhole, and if not, I think you should get started because it's fun. So welcome back, Roger. How are you? Do you play cornhole? That's my first question.
I've played a few rounds. I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but I have played it a few times. But glad to be here, and I'm excited to have our guest on with us, my friend Beth here, who's really doing a lot for us in Oklahoma and a big supporter. And we it has a great place.
And that's it. She's in Veneta, Oklahoma, and that's not far from Chakotah. Did I say that correctly yet? Am I learning?
No, it's a ways from Chakotah. It's in the north. It's in what I would call the northeastern corner of the state, and they're very close to, not too far from Miami, Oklahoma, and not too far on Route 66 path on to Tulsa. So, but we're up in that area.
I don't know, but I did say Chakotah right this time, though. I did get that part right. Okay.
They're very good.
Now, I need to look at the map.
And that's not easy.
It's taken like how many years of us doing this podcast for me to learn and then actually go there, which helps. But Veneta, that's also a good name. And I'm very excited about having you back on the show, Beth. However, you sent me photos of your new Jefferson Highway burger and steaks, and I'm going, why did you have to do that? I know I asked for it, but I'm hungry now. So thank you for that. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you back. Can we touch on these accolades? Because, you've got your Guinness World Book of Records, but I think also since you were on the show, you've had some additions to the restaurant. Am I right? It looks like you've got your big muffler man dude. You've got the big muffler man, and then you've got the Native American man. You got two. And do you have a Boston Big Boy too? Whoa, what's going on here? You got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we love all of the roadside attraction, the nostalgia of that. So that's kind of what we're trying to create. We have a 21-foot muffler man that we lovingly call Big Bill. Last fall, we also added the Big Indian, which is a 23-foot fiberglass giant that we moved here from outside of Charlemont, Massachusetts, where he stood for 49 years. He comes with a huge following of loyal fans, and also, he's right at 50 years old, so he's a vintage giant in my view. We added our muffler, our big boy that's out front holding a giant hamburger, kind of catch your eye right when you first come up on the Highway Cafe. And then we also have added our little Betty Boop.
We got to have a Betty Boop. I want to ask Roger. Nancy has been doing a lot of research. We're working on a Jefferson Highway travel guide, which will be digital publication. We're creating a whole new website on that for the guide, travel guide. So it's really focused for travel and travelers, so that you can connect with restaurants and hotels and what to see and do on the highway and just off the highway. Because, we all like a good detour, right? So Roger, Nancy's been doing so much research on the highway. In fact, she's kind of gone a little rabbit hole crazy. You know how we are about the highway. And every few minutes she's like, did you know this? Did you know that? I'm like, I've got to get work done, Nancy. She goes, but we need to go back on the highway because all this happened. And she said there's some kind of legend between the muffler man and the giant Indian man. Like historically, do you know about that? We're going to do more on this on a story in the future, but have you heard about that? There is a historic following about the Muffler Man and things that went
Well,
on.
I don't, they're kind of, Americana is just iconic. So these Muffler Men, you know, it depends on what you want to call Muffler Men or whatever, but we have one giant already on the highway that was built in the 1930s, and he's the Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox in Minnesota, in Bemidji, Minnesota. But these Muffler Men, they were created for marketing tools. A lot of them, I want to say 60s was probably their real heyday, but there's they just, for generations, people just fondly remember seeing these in different places, businesses, or on the roadside of America driving by. And, I certainly remember them. So it's just, I mean, when you're driving down the road on here in between near Veneta, and you see these two giants now, it's like, okay, we got to stop here.
Well, exactly. And that's how
and
we are. Yeah, we travel
and
for this kind of stuff.
and little do you know, when you stop there, you go in and eat at the Highway Cafe, and you're like, wow, this is more than just a fun roadside stop. This is just a great place to eat, and just friendly folks in there, and I can't say enough about it.
And I just want to go on their website, go to hi, like hello, hi-waycafe.com. Okay. And you go on the website and you'll see that they're named number 6 as the best hole in the wall restaurant in Oklahoma. Named number 9, the most unassuming restaurant in Oklahoma. Named number 9, the best pancakes in Oklahoma. So now I'm thinking like pancakes. Why do I want pancakes and burgers at the same time? Like, I think you just got me really hungry. In fact, I did have to go get a snack before the show because of your photo, but it's not anywhere. We just need to go.
Breakfast for lunch is good.
Exactly. I'm like, mix it all together, like chicken and waffles. Yes. Bring it. Beth, having these two iconic statues, of course, you got Betty Boop, like you're saying, also, the boy, the burger boy there. Have you seen a lot of people come just, hey, we got to go see that, and then say, hey, let's go in and have a burger?
Oh, absolutely. We actually kind of watch our, facility, and we have visitors that are there 24/7 in the middle of the night out there taking pictures. We have a car that's housed on the outside that actually people can stop and use their own sticker to sticker the car, and it's kind of just an attraction, a roadside attraction for people to do, and people do it at all hours of the day and night traveling the road. So, I really enjoy, we enjoy that people, are thrilled to come to the cafe and see all the sites, take selfies. We have some different selfie spots for people to take, a good photo, and we just enjoy, being able to offer it to people and see them travel the roads and, just enjoy their stops along the way. It's kind of a flashback to when I was a kid, and I just remember traveling with the family, and we stopped at every place that had like a little niche like that. My dad was pretty well known for finding some crazy stops along the route. So that's just really was my goal, was to create something that's not only fun for people to see, but also create something where they can actually do something. I know that's how my kids are. They enjoy traveling, but at the same time, when they get there, they want to actually do something. So we tried to make it somewhat interactive as well. So that was the premise behind it.
And that's the thing I wanted to touch back on for those who haven't heard the show on the Guinness Book of World Records, excuse me. We talk about the 1963 AMC American Rambler that you have, and that has 60,066, Route 66, right? Half-inch stickers on the car. And that's how it got, it is Guinness World Record. I don't know, whatever it is, world or, but that's pretty amazing, right?
It was a lot of fun. We actually have a jumbo TV set up in the garage where we house the world record car, and it's got a time-lapse video that's about 4 or 5 minutes. You can watch us very quickly putting the stickers on, and it shows that 8 days worth of work and all the volunteers that streamed in and out. Over that time, we had about 100 people that came and stickered either one or stickered several thousand. And so we like people to be able to enjoy that as well.
I'm in for this. I'm going to come do the other one where I can put a sticker on your car. I just have to, I've got stickers actually. That's going to be fun. Okay. You get stickered. I like that. That's a good thing. Go to the Highway Cafe and get stickered. But now let's talk about you. Roger is like, hey, Beth has a new burger. It's a JH burger, a Jefferson Highway burger. Tell us about this, because it seems like you are adding a little spice in that.
Official announcement.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we are actually letting the cat out of the bag today. So I have not announced this. This is something that's fine. No, that's something that we have kicked around and decided to add. We're going to call it the JH burger. That's going to be, added to the menu. I'm going to make sure that it's out there before the convoy comes through in October. So, it will be a jalapeno bacon cheeseburger, and it will be served either with 1, 2, or 3 patties, depending on how hungry you are.
See, I love that what you've done with the flavors, because it's kind of like representing the different regions of the highway too. Like the jalapeno kind of represents, hey, Oklahoma all the way down south, right? The cheese starts going more north. You know what I mean? Bacon, I think, is for all of us who know good food. Just saying, it's just my opinion. I'm just messing with you. But, everybody wants bacon. Come on. But I think that represents the highway pretty good. And bacon, a strip of bacon looks like a road. So to me, that's the perfect, that's a perfect dish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're excited to unveil this new burger and roll it out, and can't wait to add. We're going to kind of have a little bit of a kickoff for the JH burger when it gets added to the menu. And so we're super excited to be able to include that on our menu as well.
So Roger, you're going to go do a taste test? You are the president of the highway. So.
Oh yeah. I've been there several times. Beth knows I've probably been a regular. I missed the last one, but I've been going to first Saturday of the month steak night for several times now, and got to take my son there. So it's just great. But I'll be sampling that, and I'm really excited about that. We're as we talked about before. The different food and the diners and the local places. That's part of the route. That's part of why you want to travel the route. And I don't know of another JH burger out there, so we're excited to have Beth see our first one.
I know, you go, girl. I like this. Now,
I like it too. Yeah.
The convoy coming through. This is, and everyone, I'll put the link in the episode notes too for the Guinness Book of World Records, or the Guinness World Book of Records, which had Beth on there. And also the man with the longest beard. That was so cool. So I'll put that episode link, in the episode notes, but also the one, for the military convoy. This is like these are the military vehicles. And it's like the historic preservation of these vehicles. And then it's a convoy going from Minnesota down to New Orleans, which is pretty epic. This will be happening the entire month of October. I mean, people in cars, like in a massive convoy. And it's such a huge ordeal of putting this together, because I remember even on the podcast when Chuck and John were on there, Roger, they were talking like, hey, we have to even make sure that some of these vehicles are okay to go over certain bridges, even because of the weight, right?
Yeah, we talked about it. It's history in motion. I mean, this is an historic event for this convoy across the highway. So it's history in itself, but it's celebrating history, military history. It's also celebrating the history of the Jefferson Highway. So it's just great. And one of their lunch stops, imagine that, is going to be at the Highway Cafe.
Well, yeah. So, that's going to be cool.
That's right. Beth, it's going to be, they're actually stopping at me on Wednesday, October the 16th. If anybody wants to mark their calendar, I've been told that there's around 30 plus vehicles, and they'll be here about noon.
Wow.
Yeah, 37 last I knew. I'm getting closer to 40.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Wow. So that's amazing. So they're going to come down, and then, so this is for folks can come and look at the cars, and they're not cars. They're kind of cars, but they're not the actual vehicles. I mean, You're talking about hospital wagons and all kinds of
We're
stuff.
talking about everything from vintage ambulances to Jeeps to military cars, and then it's some big time vehicles that you won't miss when you see those. But yeah, a little bit of everything.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. And at that point, you're going to have the burger. Are you unveiling the burger then or before that?
We will probably do it before that. I really wanted to talk to Roger. I want him to eat the inaugural burger. So I will get with him and find out when he's in my area again and make sure I want him to have the first one fresh off the grill.
Awesome.
I love that. Roger, listen, I want people to know this. Like the Jefferson Highway Association is 100% volunteer. And there's so much work that goes into, interpreting and preserving this history and this program of getting signs on the route, like these historic signs, so travelers know, hey, you're on this historic highway. I mean, this is a revival of this highway that was started in 1915. And everyone doing this, putting on a conference. It's coming up in June where is it going to be, Roger? In your state, right? Aren't we going to your state in June?
Oklahoma.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I know it's McAllister. And I'm excited about that because they have some crazy cool history. But
and speaking of signs, we just got some our signage is going up in Oklahoma, and right by the Highway Cafe, we started to see signage going up now. So
yeah, I've got 3 right around me.
Oh, well, I think you're a magnet, Beth. But I think, getting Roger to have the first burger is important. I mean, that's what I was saying, as volunteers, I think it's so important that we understand that a lot of these associations we're always, doing things with. A lot of volunteers are just absolutely dedicated, and people getting the signs and making the signs happen in their community are often pure volunteers, someone of just interest of preserving and interpreting the history of their community. So, and also in, looking at tourism, which is also important. And I'm sorry, but beer and burgers on the highway are mandatory. Meat pies and Natchitoches, that's mandatory. Beignet in New Orleans is mandatory. But going back to volunteers and looking at giving back, can you tell us a little bit about your giving wall?
Yes, we have started a giving wall that's been almost 3 years now, where people can prepay for meals for other people who can afford a meal. We really saw the need during COVID, and specifically with kids that weren't in school for the lunch program, and so we decided to see what we could do. And I really initially just thought we would fund it maybe through the summer, and here we are almost 3 years later, and we've fed over 1,200 people so far. So It's been a wonderful thing. We've had donations from I think we're up to 13 different states and 2 countries.
That's amazing. That's really nice. As the world keeps arguing with itself, because it is in all kinds of ways across the country, around the world, this is something that brings us back to that humanity still has good, right? You know what I mean? When you see things like
absolutely,
this,
yes.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely, hats off to you to doing that. So steak night is every first Saturday, right?
It is the first Saturday of every month. Yeah. And we do 14 ounce ribeyes or bacon wrap fillets. We hand cut everything, and we cook them on a wood fire grill. So it's a special night. I would suggest to get there early. We serve steaks from 4 to 8, and it's pretty much every month around 3:30. It's packed out. Yeah, it's completely packed around 3:30. People waiting for the steaks to start. So,
wow.
And be patient when you come. So we do our best to serve. We seat 95 people, and we go from 0 to 95 really quickly. So we do the best we can. We churn out a lot of steaks during those 4 hours. So my husband
when I walked in there last time, the Corvette Club all these Corvettes were pulling into your parking lot, and I had to get in there. Quickly before they got in the door.
That was the Tulsa Vet Set. Yeah, they came up for our last a couple months ago, I think it was, and they enjoyed a steak night on their way, I think, up to Branson or something. They were going to another event, but anyway, we've really enjoyed our steak night. We're trying to kind of draw people to, of course, northeastern Oklahoma, and we love people visit Bonita Main Street and kind of see what we're doing up here in this area of the state.
Oh man, this is exciting. Everyone, Oklahoma is rocking it. Winnipeg's rocking it. Louisiana's rocking it. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other states real quick before you go. Roger, can you give us like Texas? That's more steak, right? Texas, what would you say? It would be like a good, like, item that people should look out for.
There's probably is. We have, there's just a lot of different, culture, and obviously, Louisiana has
Gumbo.
Cajun and all the seafood and everything that's down in that area that we had. We actually got to have some of it in our conference this year. First time I've ever had alligator was at the conference this year, which surprisingly
is it really like chicken? Is
was pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
But then you've got the sandwiches. They're up in Iowa and up in that area. There's just so many different diversity along the route. But the diners of America, that is something that we haven't kicked off. I hope in 2025, when I can find a time to slow down, we started our Historic Lodging Association, but I want to start not sure what I'm going to call it yet. It's diners, but it's also going to be eateries, such as we got some iconic ice cream places on the route. There's one at Mason City that's been serving homemade ice cream since 1923 on the route. And we've got, there's several places like that. They're just not what I would call diners. They're just food places. So, but, these are, in your guide we're talking about, these are obviously things we want to feature in the guide. And, but this is, we've talked about I can't tell you how great steak night is. It's just wonderful. You have to go there. But, the other thing that you have to have there is you got to have dessert. Yep. I don't know how you left that out. Because those cinnamon rolls are to die for. They are great, and they are, their desserts are equally as good. So when you leave there, you are going to put a few pounds on. So just tell me.
That's okay. Yeah, because you can jog the highway too if you want to. You can jog it a little bit afterwards. So this cinnamon rolls.
You have to have a cinnamon roll before you leave. You have to. My wife can always split ours, but it's good.
Beth,
I assume they're popular, Beth.
You're open pretty much. Am I right? It's Wednesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's just because I want people to know, to make sure you know when you're driving there. Like, stay the night and then go the next morning kind of thing, unless you're there for a first Saturday steak night, which sounds like it might have to be a second Saturday, a third Saturday. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, my husband would love a reason to. Yeah, he would love a reason to cook. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But now okay. So ultimate dessert.
Well, the cinnamon roll, you really can't go wrong with that. We also have a chocolate caramel cake that's pretty amazing. We do blackberry cobbler, cherry cobbler, apple cobbler, and ice creams. We also, on rotation, do, I have a coconut pecan cream pie that's really good, a coconut pie. I make a pumpkin pie.
Are you kidding me?
No, in the summertime, we also have a very popular lemonade pie, which is something different, and a buttermilk pie. So those are kind of the rotational ones, but you can always get the cinnamon rolls. You can always get the chocolate caramel cake and the cobblers. So those are pretty staple items.
You're just 100% dangerous now. Like, seriously, dangerous.
We always ask if the cinnamon roll. We got to make sure they have one. So we always order ours with our food. Make sure we have one.
There's a lot of people that do that, yeah, and a lot of people take them to go so they can have them for breakfast. Yeah.
I want the cinnamon roll.
The other thing too that Beth is going to have is, you're likely to see people from all over there. I'm not just talking about counties around. I mean, you have visitors from all over the world there on Route 66. So you have all kind of dialects and languages, and people signing your book from all over. It's just really cool.
Just last week we have a visitor log, so we asked people to sign the log, and usually I know the people that are visiting us for the first time, so I actually went back and looked at the book for last week, which were just open 5 days, but we had 9 different countries that were there. So it's very, you just never know who you're going to see. We've had celebrities at different times. Like I said, you just never know who you're going to run into and who you're going to see. And I actually was fortunate enough, one night I had both Roger and I had Reese Martin, who's the president of the Route 66 Oklahoma Association. So they were both in at the same time, and that was really. I had 2 rock stars in the cafe at the same time. It was really neat.
The meeting of the highways. I love that. I mean,
remember what night that was? It was steak night. I mean, it brings them.
It was steak night.
Oh my gosh, steak night!
Yes, it was.
That is cool. Listen, I'm thinking the cinnamon roll with bacon. Is that allowed?
Oh,
sure.
No, that's not.
And okay, I'm just asking. I just kind of feel, I don't know. I'm hungry now. It's all right. We'll see you soon. We'll be going through Oklahoma at some point, I know. And we'll be seeing there. We'll be stopping. We'll get some sustenance and some sweetness and some bacon, some burgers, some steak. Oh, and fries. Ooh, how are your fries done? Like, are the fries good?
They're really good, but I will tell you, we sell a ton of homemade onion rings. We make our onion rings fresh every morning, and they're hand battered with our own little concoction. And we serve it with a side of homemade ranch. So the onion ring appetizer is very popular.
Nancy's perking her ears up already because onion rings, and I was thinking that when we were talking about Texas, I was like, the onion rings. I didn't get to say it yet, and I wanted to say onion rings are a thing. A good onion ring. I mean, that is like the ultimate of diner food, and yes, please. Yes, please. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for making us all hungry, Beth. It's been a delight, and keep
You're
getting
welcome.
those accolades. And I feel like we should all bring you things to put on the property. We need to bring you Americana items.
Can I make one final comment and
Sure.
We talked about announcing the JH Burger. We do have one other thing to announce publicly for the first time here. That we are now going to have the Highway Cafe as one of our official Jefferson Highway Visitor Centers. So that will be breaking soon. So they will be, I think, the 7th or 8th one on the route now. So we're excited about it, the first in Oklahoma. So we're excited about that, and we really enjoy Beth, and it's just a great place to stop.
That is awesome that you're a visit. That's so fantastic. And so everyone just has to go to jeffersonhighway.org to connect with the Highway Association to become a visitor center and work with you to do that.
We're kind of selecting these because we want them to be places where people are stopping and that people are passionate along with us about the future of the highway, because those people are going to be, the ones telling the visitors and so on about us. And we're there's not a quote system to come a visitor center. We're just kind of evaluating and selecting appropriate people to be that.
That's awesome, Beth. And here you are doing it, and you have your own burger. I mean, you got the Jefferson Highway. You got the big JH. I know. I was thinking you got to have a branding iron, so you can brand the burgers with JH on them. Like,
sounds great. Hey, that might be in the works.
You also have a Cyrus Avery burger. Is that correct, Beth? For your Route 66?
Yes, I do. I put that on. Yeah.
So, you can have a crossroads right there. Your spouse can have a Route 66, and the other one can have a JH burger. So,
and you can share a pickle. Yeah, there you go. I like it. Everyone, again, for the Highway Cafe, go to hello, jefferson-waycafe.com, and the Jefferson Highway Association. Do look at becoming a member. Go to jeffersonhighway.org. That is the place to learn everything. And I encourage you to join their Facebook group and make sure you follow them on Facebook, Instagram, also on Twitter. But the Facebook group is so cool to hang out with because you just see, I mean, it's prolific. It like every day there's things going on. With, different communities, events, murals are going up. We've got highway cafes putting out a new burger and, hey, I got a new, muffler man and maybe you'll have a second one. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen at the highway cafe. But there's always something going on in the group, and it's really cool to see all the communities come together and, share what's going on, and travelers share things. So it's really cool. So I encourage people to go and be part of that group, but most definitely follow the Jefferson Highway Association on social media, and Beth, keep up with the Highway Cafe there because she'll make you hungry. And if you follow them on social media, you will have to go, period. That's it. Right, Beth? It's true.
That's right. That's right. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah. Trying to tempt you with those pictures.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Beth. Thank you, Roger. As always, thank you, listeners. And keep up with us on BigBlendRadio.com. We're here every fourth Thursday with our Jefferson Highway Show. And as we were saying, we are in the works of creating the first Jefferson Highway Guide. It will be a digital magazine and a website, so it can be used on your phone when you're traveling. And also the guide will be really cool to help plan your trip and actually get a good view of where the highway is, where it goes, some of the, exciting things you can see. And then the website will have more of the nitty gritty and maps and all kinds of cool stuff. So we're busy, and who doesn't want to be busy on the Jefferson Highway? It sounds like fun. So everyone take care. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on the Big Blend Radio Jefferson Highway Show. The show airs every fourth Thursday, and we encourage you to go to jeffersonhighway.org to learn more about the Jefferson Highway Association or even become a member. You can also dig into the history of the highway and share travel notes with friends at the Jefferson Highway Association Facebook group. Follow our shows at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels!